In terms of the opportunity, we've gotten actually a couple people who've reached out to us and they've said, so is this, a franchise opportunity? Is this like logistics, meaning like, are we doing trucking, right? Like, am I coordinating things, hauling things from one location to the next? That is a component of this, transparently speaking. But I want to take just a moment to walk you through what this opportunity looks like so that you're a bit more prepared once we jump on the call. So from an opportunity standpoint, think about it like this. Think about, we are the ultimate high ticket, high value solutions provider. Whatever somebody needs in terms of project management, in terms of solution, we're able to handle that. So what does that look like? A lot of people ask, like, well, what would a day in life look like? Well, first of all, I want to talk to you a little bit more about the numbers. I want to talk to you a little bit more about what one of our founders is doing right now. And I want to talk to you a little bit more about how that looks on a day-to-day basis for him. Okay. Because I think that's going to give you probably the clearest picture of what we are, what we do, and how we can set you up for the most success. So to give perspective on this, our founder started this 20 plus years ago. He's put in the upfront sweat equity, right, to grow and to build the business. So he's done a fantastic job in terms of what that base looks like. But some people will ask, well, does that mean then I have to have, hundreds of clients or anything like that? No. The reality is that between him and his dad, he has about 50 clients right now, and he really only has 5 to 10 that are the super active, need a ton of attention kind of clients, but the other ones are still profitable. The other ones are still paying, right? So it's a really beautiful model like that. And that does overall reduce some of the workload. So you're not constantly in a place of just saying like nonstop grind, right? That may be what you're looking for. That may not be what you're looking for. But the bottom line is, however you choose to conduct yourself, you do have the option to ease up a little bit. Not ease up in the sense of wanting to grow and to build something. We definitely want you to be out there. We definitely want you to do that. But to ease up in the sense of you don't have to feel like if you're not constantly on, constantly calling, constantly working nonstop, that you can't make this profitable. That's not the case. To give you perspective on this, I mean, the business right now, from a gross sales standpoint, from an average unit value standpoint, we're looking at $7.3 million in gross sales on the top line. In terms of what the net profitability is for that single unit, it's 2.4 million net. All right. So you're looking at 7.3 million gross, 2.4 million net. Is that achievable for you? Yes, it is. It absolutely is. Is it going to happen overnight? No, it does not happen overnight. But is it achievable for you? Yes, it is. I'm not here to promise you things. I'm not here to guarantee you things. Your work is going to be what yields the results ultimately, but it is really important that you have that perspective, that you have that understanding to know that this is a business that you can grow and scale. There is uncapped potential with it because there's such a huge demand for solving these problems, right? So you look at it and you say, well, what's the workload look like? What does it look like when he's actually doing the workload? Right now, he's gotten to this point with his dedicated clients where he has, in terms of his own unit, right? We're not talking about all the individual franchises. When you're overseeing a franchise, there's a lot of support. There's a lot of feedback. There's a lot of help to make sure that they at an individual level are super successful. He personally chooses to do it from a 10 by 10 room in his house. He literally has a bedroom set up for it. He chooses to do it like that. Somebody else might say, hey, I want to do it from a cruise ship. Somebody else might say like, hey, you know what? I want to fly all over the country with my family and I want to do this as well, right? Wherever you choose to do it, that's completely fine. We're not here to tell you that it has to be in one spot. You can still own a territory, grow and scale that territory, but work from anywhere you want to. So that's a really significant thing with this. It's a really powerful thing with this, right? Giving you that ability to move, to travel, to do some of the things that you really love in your life. So you're not just stuck at a desk all day, every day in a single spot if you don't want to be, right? For him, he likes his life in that kind of way. He lives in a town of about 25,000 people. It's not a huge town. It's a pretty small town, but he serves the needs of clients nationwide. And that's the life that he chooses to have. But you get to choose the life that you want to have. Now, with that being said, I want to set a proper balance here too. When the call comes, you're on. And that's one of the biggest key differences with this business. It's not a business where you're just off doing whatever, where it just runs itself. It's not a passive investment. It's an investment that can have a light lift once you establish it, but it's not the kind of thing where you're just completely hands off and you just sit back and money gets thrown at you as nobody would really expect. But I want to make sure that I'm being transparent with you as well. Okay. So what does the day in the life look like? When we look at it at its core, like I said, we're not a trucking company. Like that's maybe 10 to 15% of what we actually do. We, of course, transport things. But if you look at this overall, we're handling the entire supply chain in many instances, right? So like imagine that, you're at a Taylor Swift concert. I know, probably not going to be, but maybe you are. Maybe a family member is, and maybe you are. I don't know. The reality is, let's just imagine it, right? Huge operations. We're talking big LED screens. We're talking all the musical equipment. We're talking all the setup. What that might look like is maybe Taylor Swift has somebody who's going to do the transport. Maybe Taylor Swift has somebody who's going to do the setup, right? But maybe what we're going to do is we're going to staff and we're going to bring the entire team in, do all the teardown, all the packaging, make sure that everything is meticulously labeled, load all that stuff into the truck so that it's ready to transport. Maybe that's a piece that we're going to do. Maybe we're in an instance where we're going to handle the end to end. So we're actually going to do all the takedown, all the packaging, all the staffing, all the itemization, every single thing. We're going to load it up into a truck, and then we're going to move it from point A to point B, and we're going to unload that, and we're going to do that every single stop along the tour. That's one example of what could happen, right? We've had an example like that with ESPN before. I'm not going to get into all the details of the operation. We've had it with Lego Masters. We've had it with ESPN. We've had many, many very big brands that we've worked with. One of our biggest brands is Meta. So it's a really significant brand that we've worked with, right? When you talk about this being white glove, top of the line kind of businesses, those are some of the things that we work with. But that's not what you have to work with in order to make this successful. But you can manage projects like that are large scale. When you do exceptional work, they pay well and you're able to grow and scale that. And when you do great work in that space, you typically stay with clients. You look at this in the government space, you look at this in the data center space. That's a big piece for us, all these kind of things, right? So it's important to understand that there's many different spaces where this can operate in. But at the end of the day, it's white glove, top of the line kind of service. It can be a piece of the logistical move. It can be the middle of it with the actual transport, or it can be the setup, or it can be all of it, right? So there's many things like that. There's cases too where medical facilities have come to us and they've said, listen, we have two highly technical, and I'm thinking about a really specific one that's major medical network. They're like, we have two really highly specialized technicians that we need to hire for. We don't want to go through our HR department because we know that our HR department is going to want to like have a write up with the marketing department and then put a job application out there and do a really long interview process. It's going to be 3 to 4 months down the line. We need something now for December. Can you guys do it? What's the answer? Yes, we can. Why? Because we have an unbelievable, powerful vendor network that covers every single aspect of the supply chain. And because of those relationships and because of what we have in place, when somebody has a need like that, we can solve it very, very fast. That's not where everybody else is. They're going through big processes, long processes, or they can only handle an aspect of things. When the call comes for us, the answer is yes, because we can do it. And that's really the power of what this is. It's not just on a truck. It's not just a single component of staffing. It's not just a piece of like really the easy projects. We're not just sending someone out, here's your tracking code or anything like that. Or, hey, I know a guy, contact him. We're handling all these things. But because the value that we're able to provide from a solution standpoint to high ticket buyers, the profitability is really substantial. So when you talk about being part of something like this, you are the ultimate solutions provider. You're the ultimate, hate to say it, but yes man or yes person. You're the ultimate person with that. But the beauty of being that is that you have the backing of an infrastructure of a system that's able to give you that vendor network, that's able to give you that support, that has powerful marketing, that has powerful strategies and a history of how you grow this, how you build this, how you make this part of the world, but still have a thriving and successful business that you can eventually even maybe turn into a legacy. Right? His dad started in the space. He didn't know everything about the space. He didn't know all the details about the space, but his dad started in that space. And from there, he grew up in that space, and they've been able to grow and build this now from a successful business to a franchise to create an incredible opportunity where people truly have something that's very unique. And when you look at the demand of a space like this, the demand for the movement of data centers, I mean, that's not stopping. Let's be real. The demand for the government contractors have, I mean, that's not stopping when it comes to that. All these demands are only expanding when you look at the grid, when you look at energy networks, when you look at data centers, when you look at medical facilities. These needs are always in service. I'll give an example of something that's pretty wild when you talk about a day in the life. There was a time when there was an MRI machine that had to be moved to a location. This location was in a remote spot, but they needed to have that MRI machine. They needed to have it there in 36 hours. That's a really tough job. That's a really tough job. And most people are going to hear that. They're going to say like, no, we can't do it, man. And we said, we're going to do it. we're going to do it. We're going to take it on. What happened was we handled all the packaging, all the loading up the MRI machine, made sure that it was temperature controlled, made sure that it was set up well. We knew that we were going to an area that was rougher terrain, but we had that set up right. Transported all the way there. They told us once we got there, there's going to be a highway. There's going to be a way to actually get to this medical facility. There wasn't a way to get to this medical facility. So we had to reach out to the forestry team to cut down a whole segment of the trees and then slowly move this semi with this machine up the side of a mountain, got it to a location. It was 5 floors up. All right. So then we had to get a crane up there. We got the crane up there. The crane removed the window. We put the MRI machine in there, cleaned the entire room, provided all the technicians, provided all the setup, provided all the testing, provided all the unloading, cleaned the entire area, cleaned the rest of the area up to make sure that it was clean, put the window back on, made sure that it was operational. And sure enough, that thing was operational and they were able to use it within the time frame they had. It's things like that that make the value of what we're able to provide from a solution standpoint so fundamentally powerful. And it's what makes this a truly profitable thing. Now, in those 36 hours in that time frame, obviously you're not going to be like up for 36 hours straight necessarily, but in that time frame, you're going to be on. Right? When somebody's talking about a high value, high ticket kind of thing, they're not looking and saying like, hey, you know what? Like, just send me the tracking code. Let me know when it gets there. No, if there's a wreck at mile marker, 1749, what we're going to say is like, okay, at this mile marker here, hey, just so you know, there's a wreck over here. It's going to slow us down about 5 minutes, but we're looking for a workaround here so we can keep on schedule. Or like, hey, there is no way to keep it on schedule right now. We want to let you know this is happening. Or once we get there, like, hey, you know what? There's trees in the entire area, even though we've surveyed this, the truck isn't working in the area, but we're going to find a solution for it. It's not like it's not like the forestry department was waiting there with chainsaws. You know what I mean? Like we had to coordinate that on the spot and we still had a timeline that we had to execute on and we did it. And that's really what this is about. It's about being the premier solutions provider. And when you're that for people, it becomes an incredible thing. And when you talk about being that premier solutions provider that can handle every single aspect of the supply chain, and you're talking about this being with Fortune 500 companies, a huge vendor network that you're able to pull from, you become the ultimate solution. Now, I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm not going to say that, every single day is going to be easy, but I'm going to say that you can set yourself up when you serve clients at a very high white glove kind of level that you're able to deliver something really powerful for them. And that makes you inherently valuable. And the beautiful thing with a franchise opportunity like this is you have 100% support. You have the education, you have the team, you have the vendor network, you have the support to be behind you to make sure that like, hey, you're not out there trying to figure it on your own. We've done this. We've made this successful. We've found these riches in the niches and we're able to help you set this up for success and help you grow and help you scale this along with your hard work. It's unlike any opportunity that you've ever heard of out there. It's unlike any opportunity in terms of the growth potential and in terms of what can be achieved, but it's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing because it's what so many of us are looking for. We're looking for that opportunity to say, like, how can we still live? I know they said it's just gone, but how can we live the American dream? How can we have the opportunity to really be able to build something that is truly valuable, that is truly substantial, or we can work from anywhere? It almost sounds like a pipe dream, right? It almost sounds like this is ridiculous. This can't possibly be the thing. Every single day we have people showing up to their offices, like just grinding away, staying there in jobs that in some cases they don't even like. They hate their jobs. But we're able to do this from anywhere in these cases. And why are we? Because we built something that's meant to last. And we built something that solves a really big problem for people that can pay adequately for that problem. And that's the power of this. That's the power of this opportunity. There's more to come. There's more questions you're going to have, things that you want to know, stuff that you want to discuss.